We offer courses in journalism, business management, human resource, ICT, among others. For more information, contact us on the details on your screen.
This is NTV.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year. My name is Gladys Gachanja and you are just in time for NTV At One. Now we start off with some details coming from the United States, and that is that Congress has completed electoral count, and actually this affirms President-elect Joe Biden's win. And this follows, of course, as you know, the violent delay that was caused by a pro-Trump mob that actually stormed into the Capitol. Now we'll have more details of the same in a moment. For now, a meeting is currently ongoing in Mombasa, bringing together the county administration and the doctors' union officials a day after 86 striking doctors were sacked. This last-minute effort to salvage the situation by negotiating on the terms of the return to work formula was met with resistance by Governor's Council. Now Kevin Mutai joins us live from Mombasa with more details. Kevin, what can you tell us?
Well, indeed, the meeting is currently going on, Gladys, with doctors and the union officials happening now at the governor's official offices here in Mombasa. I'm informed that the health officials, the officials from the health department here in Mombasa are engaging with the members of the union and, of course, the leadership of the union, trying to iron out some of the issues. Remember, this particular meeting is coming a day after 86 of the doctors were dismissed on grounds that the county claims that they refused to go back to work, and the doctors arguing that their dismissal is illegal, saying that the county government had taken them to court, and therefore they are saying that they want to be reinstated until the matter in court is heard and determined. But quickly joining me is Abidan Mwachi, who is the Coast Branch KMPDU, just to quickly take us through what are some of the critical concerns that you are engaging the county.
First of all, I think a good place to start is that we are not discussing about the dismissal letters, because those are diversionary tactics that we will not fall for. What you're discussing is what took us to the strike in the first place. Any other thing that comes along there is a diversionary tactic. So we're engaging now to discuss on how to implement the return to work formula that was hitherto not attended to.
What is going to happen with the 86 doctors who were dismissed yesterday? Because I understand that a total of 250 doctors in the county. So if you're not talking about or rather seeking reinstatement, then what will happen to the 86? What's the way forward now?
We've heard through the media that they were dismissed, and we have not received any letters to that effect. We know that it's an illegal event, and our lawyer will deal with that aspect if they decide to take that turn.
Well, there was a letter from the county secretary citing that the doctors had refused to go back to work, so terming the move as illegal and therefore prompting the county to take that action and maybe sack the doctors who were involved in the strike.
No, but an employee on strike cannot go back to work because they're on strike. That's the whole essence of a strike. A strike is defined as a person not going back to work, not going to work, or going back to work when they're told to go back to work for specific reasons. So you can't fault somebody for not going back to work during a strike. That's an oxymoron.
Well, of course, we also heard even that the KMPDU Secretary General, that is Chibanzi Mochonda, was among the people who were mentioned on the list by the county that who were fired yesterday. So you're saying that there are no letters to prove, or rather you guys have not received any formal communication from the county. What's happening? Because we're all confused here.
There could be, and I think you're engaging in diversionary tactics. There could be all those letters written to Machonda, written to whoever they want to write. But the issues on the ground stand, and that is what we are focused on. We are focused with tunnel vision on the return to work formula. Yes, they can write Machonda a million letters. Yes, but what I'm saying, you can now see the caliber of leaders that you're harboring.
And perhaps lastly, there's a doctor who just called us a couple of hours ago claiming that he had been ordered to vacate his premises. So maybe perhaps do we have such kind of similar incidences which has also happened to some other doctors?
I got a clue about that. I have not been able to attend to it. I will try and attend to it and get the nitty-gritties of the matters. And I'm hoping against hope that it's not related to the current thing, because that will be quite unfortunate.
Well, thank you so much. Wishing you well. Well, of course, that is the Coast Branch KMPDU Secretary General Abidan Mwachi, who confirms that there's a meeting that is currently happening, and you heard him say that they have not received any dismissal letters. Therefore, they are taking it as just rumors from the media that 86 doctors in Mombasa have been sacked. So we are keenly following up on what is happening here with regards to the doctor strike situation. Remember, the doctors in Mombasa went on strike from December 2nd, 2020, and right now we are all expecting that this meeting will definitely bear fruits, and perhaps maybe we are hoping to see the doctors, if at all they'll be allowed to go back to work, and that is after their demands have been met, which is forcing they're forcing the county to honor the return to work formula that was signed in December 2020. Back to you, Gladys.
Thank you, Kevin Mutai, coming to us from Mombasa town. And before you leave, a happy birthday to you, even as you continue to actually cover this for us. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Gladys. It's God's grace. Thank you so much.
Karibu sana, and remember, he is in Mombasa following up on that news that came from there after the county sacked 86 doctors, including the KMPDU Secretary General Mochonda. And as you've heard the officials say that still remains a rumor, as they have not yet received official communication of the same. We'll keep you updated on the same as and when we get more details. Now, to that story that I mentioned earlier, American democracy is limping on both feet after the storming of the U.S. Capitol by Donald Trump supporters. The stunning events in the U.S. Capitol, beamed live across the world, left one person dead and several others injured as hours of chaos unleashed threatened led to a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew.
World leaders and governments on Wednesday expressed shock and outrage at the storming of the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. by supporters of President Donald Trump. Wearing "Make America Great Again" caps and sharing biscuits and beers, hundreds of Donald Trump supporters insisted they would never accept Joe Biden as president as they traveled by bus from near Boston to Washington to protest Congress' expected certification of his White House victory.
We love Trump! We love Trump!
I am convinced that Trump actually won the election, and there was enough cheating and fraud that has been brushed away that they don't want to hear about.
We want to take back the country. It's our house from us. This is our house. They tried to barricade people out, and they knocked the barricades down like toothpicks. They're scattered all over, and now we're taking back this country.
The disgraceful scenes, which many have called an assault on U.S. democracy, its institutions and rule of law, happened as authorities raised concerns and fears of the demonstration attended by thousands of Trump supporters from across the country could turn violent. And it did. Republican lawmakers early Thursday objected to counting Pennsylvania's electors, further delaying the certification of Joe Biden's election victory after the House and Senate rejected an earlier challenge to his win in Arizona. The joint session of Congress was certifying the electoral votes of all 50 states to confirm Biden's 306 to 232 electoral victory in November. It was delayed when protesters stormed the Capitol building, triggering unprecedented chaos and violence that drew condemnation from around the world and some Republican scorn for Trump.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period.
Egged on in an extraordinary rally by an aggrieved Trump, a flag-waving mob broke down barricades outside the Capitol and swarmed inside, rampaging through offices and onto the usually solemn legislative floors. In a rapidly evolving sequence of events, Facebook and YouTube took down videos posted by Trump, and Twitter followed suit as the platforms claimed he was inciting violent protests by his supporters who stormed the U.S. Capitol building.
Well, the latest is that Congress has formally affirmed President-elect Joe Biden's 2020 victory, completing a final step in the electoral process. And Vice President Mike Pence, who presided over the count conducted by a joint session of Congress, announced that Biden had won the Electoral College vote early Thursday, which was this morning, after the House and Senate easily defeated Republican objections lodged against the votes sent by two states, that's Arizona and Pennsylvania. Well, we'll keep you more updated on more details coming from different parts of the world as the world reacts to that mob that actually broke into the U.S. Capitol. Now, back home and some politics too, Deputy President William Ruto has declared that he has pulled out from the Building Bridges Initiative exercise, and instead he will focus on the development agenda of the Jubilee administration. For a while now, DP Ruto has been unsuccessfully pushing to have the BBI-driven Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 be amended.
BBI kuna wenyewe, na vile mumesema, mumeuliza ya kwamba hizo vitabu ziletwe, wananchi wasome. Mimi nilikuwa nimesema kwa sababu kazi ni nyingi, mimi nisaidie president katika ile kazi ya maendeleo ya barabara hiyo, stima, maji hiyo. Wengine pia washughulike na hii ya BBI. Na kwa sababu kazi ni kazi, si ndio? So wakati nilienda Bomas, nikaona inataka kwenda Kombo, nikasema wacha ninyoroshe kidogo. Nikajaribu kuwasaidia kunyorosha, lakini sasa tena wamechelewa, hawajaleta kusomesha wananchi.
Elsewhere, Orange Democratic Movement Party Director of Elections, Junet Mohammed, has maintained that their former political partners in the opposition coalition, NASA, will not stop them from fielding candidates in all the upcoming by-elections. At the same time, the party's deputy leader, Wycliffe Oparanya, says ODM will seek a new coalition with like-minded parties ahead of 2022 elections.
Kusimama kura ama uchaguzi ni kama kuwinda. Ni kama mtu ambaye anaenda msituni kuwinda. So mwenye atapata swara Mungu ndio anajua. Lakini huwezi kulaumu mtu kwa nini amekuja na silaha yake kuja kuwinda. So tafadhali tusilaumiane. Kwa nini ODM inasimamisha mtu matungu? Kwa nini ODM ni chama ya hapa Kenya, sio chama ya Tanzania. Na kisikia ODM ikisikia kuna uchaguzi hapa Kenya, watasimamisha tu mtu tu. Kwa sababu ni hapa Kenya tu.
ODM is different from ANC. It's only that we were coalition members, and the coalition flopped. We never won an election. So
Kibera we all contested.
Yeah, and Kibera we all contested. Why should Matungu be unique? Tunaangalia vyama vingine ambazo tunaweza kuja nazo pamoja. Zije pamoja, tushauriane, tuone ya kwamba 2022 tunaunda serikali.
Now, the Kilifi County government has begun spraying a swarm of locusts that have invaded parts of the county. Now, the pests have destroyed several farms in Magarini and Ganze sub-counties, while 5 other sub-counties have experienced little damage. A team of 50 officers from the National Youth Service have been deployed to spray the ravaging insects, whose eggs were beginning to hatch, posing more damage to the farmers. The migratory pests invaded the county on the 2nd of January and have spread across all the 7 sub-counties in the region. Speaking during the spraying exercise, agriculture officials took time to enlighten the residents on the pests.
Walipokuwa sasa wanafly huko, watu wanasema oh, department mmekaa hamuji mkaleta dawa mkapiga, lakini kisayansi tunajua kwamba hata ukiwaua wale unawaua tu, lakini wao wanazaa na kukufa. Ndio unaona kwamba wengi wao walizaa na wakafariki. Lakini hii hopper stage ama nymph, hawa wadogo sasa ndio hatari zaidi. Ndio unaona tumeweza kukaa tukajua katika data yetu ambayo tumeipata kwa wakati huu wamezaliwa, wamekuwa hatched na ni wengi. Na ndio unaona kwamba tumekuja ili tukaweze kulaunch ama kuweza kuzindua hafla hii ya kuweza kuanza kuwaua.
Well, a lot is happening in the education sector even as the children resume physical learning in school, and we'll have more details right after this short break. Stay with us.
Ruiru Mabati Factory offers best quality mabati at the most affordable prices. We pride in our 10 years experience. Our products have 15 years warranty and are KEBS certified. We manufacture box profile, Europe tile, Jenga tile, corrugated S-profile, among others, in a wide variety of colors. Enjoy our free delivery in just 72 hours. To order, call us now on 0111 050 700. Ruiru Mabati Factory, Mali Safi kwa bei poa.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, about 5,000 school-going girls were impregnated in the Rift Valley region by the end of December 2020. This is according to a report released by Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembeya. Speaking while inspecting some schools within Nakuru town, Natembeya called on all public school heads within the region to audit their students and report the numbers of students who have not reported back to school since their reopening on the 4th of January. Schools have been cautioned against discriminating children who are pregnant or have given birth. The commissioner also said the government is working to find solutions in some of the schools affected by floods and evictions in Baringo and Mau.
Almost all our public schools in the region have reopened. We are talking about almost 99.9%, apart from 16 schools in Baringo, which are well aware about the issues of flooding. But the students have been relocated to neighboring schools. In Nakuru, there's one school in the eastern Mau, specifically Marashoni, that also has not opened, because you remember when the government was evicting people, there are some people who just panicked and demolished that school. Actually, they vandalized the school. They ran away with iron sheets, timber, and so forth. So that school has not been able to open. In Baringo, this morning we received about 100 tons from the CS devolution, from the Ministry of Devolution, to try to sort out that problem of flooding. We want also to bring in other parties, including the CDF, to see whether we can sink boreholes in our schools, so that we have sufficient water.
Still on education, some schools in the flooded areas of Bundalangi, Bunyala, South are still inaccessible due to the floods that have affected the region. Musoma ACK Primary School, Igingo Primary School and Musoma Secondary School are most affected, with students being transferred to neighboring schools. Students from these schools have to go through the water due to impassable roads following Lake Victoria's backflow. Residents are calling on the county and national governments to move with speed in relocating the government facilities that have been submerged by water.
Choo hawana za kutumia, kupita kuenda kwa madarasa pia ni shida. Huko upande wa secondary pia maji imejaa, madarasa yote imejaa na maji. Hakuna mahali pa kupita, watoto wamehama, wameenda Lugare.
Tumeambia serikali wafanye relocation ya hizi building kwa sababu hapa sasa ni kama ziko condemned. Hakuna mtu anaweza fanyia hapo kazi. Na ningependa serikali iharakishe kwa sababu building nyingine imekuwa store ambayo ilikuwa inaweka chakula ya samaki ambazo zile fish cages wanatumia wale wako na fish cages.
Japanese donors, in collaboration with the county government of Bomet, distributed reusable face masks and sanitizers to various schools in Bomet County. Well done, CLA, a local working in Japan, said the initial plan was to bring masks from Japan, but due to the limited resources, they were not in a position to support all the schools. CLA appealed to professionals across the country to join in on the fight against the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, especially in schools, by donating face masks and hand sanitizers, as most learners can't afford the vital safety tools.
We also wanted to contribute back home in terms of giving, being a source of income to some people. So we are able to identify a few groups that are working with disadvantaged people in the community, specifically people in Mukuru slums in Nairobi and one in Kithurai, and we were able to procure masks from them, and the masks are usable, and they have been done according to the Ministry of Education guidelines.
You take care of somebody you are associated to is something important for Japanese way of philosophy. So we having this relationship stronger and stronger, I think we can have some like a future more important collaboration as for the company, as from Japan side, and also for the Bomet.
Now, 3 members of the same family died after the car they were traveling in collided with another at Farmers Corner area in Limuru, Kiambu County. They were traveling from a funeral in Nazareth heading towards Limuru when the car driver failed to control the vehicle at a corner and collided with another car. The wreckage was towed to Tigoni Police Station as officers embark on investigations. However, locals have asked the government to erect bumps along the Limuru-Nazareth up to Kiambu Road since it has so many sharp corners.
Naomba madereva waweze kutumia hiyo barabara na kwa uangalifu. Kupoteza familia watu 3 ni kitu ya ajabu sana, lakini tunajaribu sana kuelimisha waweze kuwa na uangalifu kwa barabara.
Nilifika nikapata watu hapa, nikapata miili fulani imewekwa pale chini, ndio nikasikia ati ni gari ilikuwa inatoka kutoka huko juu, na ilikuwa ni kama ilikuwa inatembea barabara mzima. Mtu mwingine wa probox alikuwa anatoka kutoka chini, akakuja wakati aliona hao wanatembea barabara mzima, yani akaona hawezi kuja hii route nyingine. Kasema maybe wanaweza fika wakapotezana kiasi, kaamua kutulia huko akakanyaga akasimamisha gari. Wale walikuja kama wamemuingia, ndio ni kama hiyo gari ilienda ikairusha kwenda huko, kaenda ikagonga hiyo ukuta.
And so, to some sad news, a requiem mass has been held for 5 children who perished on December the 31st, 2020, after they fell into a septic tank in Mwihoko, Ruiru, Kiambu County. Leaders and residents of Kiambu gathered at Mwihoko to comfort friends and family of the departed. Now, 3-year-old Vanessa Wangare, 4-year-old Prince Muturi, 5-year-old Juma Matthew, 7-year-old Natasha Jambi, and 10-year-old Abigail Mudhoni died after the septic tank they were playing on caved in. 3 of the children will be interred in Kiharu in Murang'a County, while bodies of the other 2 will be buried in Thika and Deya in Kiambu County. Kiambu Governor James Nyoro said the county will crack the whip on rogue developers who endanger people's lives by putting up substandard structures.
I can assure you watu ya Mwihoko, huko Kiu tuna 12 kilometers of sewer. Huko kwa Mheshimiwa Kidim tuna 7 kilometers of sewer. Huko Kahawa Wendani we have a big project ya sewer. Kahawa Sukari tulimaliza. So sewer itakuja hapa na tutahakikisha mambo ya septic tanks imeisha. Tutakuwa na main sewer ambao itakuja in the next year's budget.
To Kajiado County, and more than 3,000 Kajiado North Sub-County residents are experiencing water shortage after the government road construction agencies destroyed water connection lines. Kenya Urban Roads Authority KENHA and Kenya Rural Roads Authority KURA have been carrying out road repairs within Ongata, Rongai, Embulbul, Ngong and Matasio satellite towns in the past 2 years, leading to the destruction of the water pipeline. Ololeza Water and Sewage Company, which has been supplying water to residents at the cost of 53 shillings per 6 units, is counting losses, forcing residents to source water from vendors who charge them exorbitant prices for the priceless commodity. They call on the government to intervene to enable residents to access clean water to cushion them in curbing the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic.
They have destroyed many of our lines. We have been talking with them, several meetings, together with the Presidential Delivery Unit, for them to be able to restore the pipelines. That has not been done, and that has really affected our supplies to the citizens.
Now, elsewhere, Jua Kali traders in Nairobi have lauded the reopening of schools, terming it a boost to their businesses that had taken a hit from the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The traders, who rely on selling their goods to parents and students, say the closure of schools early last year had rendered them jobless. Now, the traders are now calling on the national government to focus on the recovery of the Jua Kali sector in the country amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, terming it a significant income source to ordinary people. They are optimistic businesses will stabilize in 2021.
Natarajia kwamba kutakuwa na mabadiliko mengi sana huu mwaka, ambapo tutakuja sisi kama wafanyabiashara wa Kariakoo tutakuja kufanikiwa.
Serikali ijue sisi wafanyakazi wa chini. Hao wametutupa, walitudanganya tu, watajua watatusaidia, lakini hakuna mtu yoyote kama mimi hapa. Hata hii nyumba yangu kulipa hii renti imekuwa shida sana.
Unajua sisi tuna compete na biashara za nje. Wangepunguza kuimport viatu ili pia sisi tupate wateja. Alafu watusaidie kwa mambo ya production. Juu saa hii wateja wako wengi na sisi tunatumia tu mkono. Sasa hiyo kitambo tengeneze viatu inachukua muda.
Cereals traders in Thika, Kiambu County are counting huge profits as learning institutions move to make foodstuff purchases in large quantities this week. Traders said that most cereals sought by learning institutions are maize and beans, widely used by both the learners and other teaching and support staff. The massive demand for the two and high importation costs have seen their prices skyrocket in days. A sack of maize last week going for 2,700 shillings is now retailing at between 3,000 3,000 to 3,500 shillings, a price that could rise further if all factors remain constant. Inaccessibility of certain food items such as beans has also seen their prices go up, with the buyers now left without alternatives but to purchase what is available at whatever prices. A sack of beans that initially cost buyers 6,500 shillings is currently going for 8,000 shillings, which could increase as the reported commodity is rare in the market.
Kwa ajili hatukuwa na customers. Customer ni wale wa kwenda kuuzia wale wanauza. Lakini habari ya mashule, hakuna shule ilikuwa inachukua machakula, ilikuwa inachukua chakula. Kwa hivyo tunafurahia tukiona wanakuja. Kama saizi wanakuja wanachukua mahindi. Sana sana kile kinaenda sana ni mahindi. Kutoka Monday ndio tutaona mashule nyingi itakuwa inajaa.
Saa hii mahindi tutawazia na 3,000. Na beren tulikuwa tunauza 2200. Kwa hivyo kazi iko sawa.
Tunausia mashule mengi sana hii ya Central. Kwa sababu hii ndio center ya Central. Ama ya Mount Kenya region.
To some sporting action, and Manchester City kept their hopes of winning a fourth consecutive Carabao Cup alive after overcoming Manchester United with a 2-0 win in the semi-final at Old Trafford. The resurgent John Stones and Fernandinho struck in the second half on Wednesday night to seal their passage to the final, seeing off their rivals and maintaining their quest to equal Liverpool's record of winning this competition 4 times in a row. City's breakthrough was made in the 50th minute through the unlikely source of Stones, and a brilliant free-kick delivery by Foden bounced all the way through to the defender, who bundled in his first goal for City since November 2017 from close range before the second one came in the 82nd minute. City will meet Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur at Wembley in the April 25th final as they seek their 4th League Cup triumph in a row. Manchester City kept their hopes of winning a 4th consecutive Carabao Cup alive after overcoming Manchester United with a 2-0 win final at Old Trafford. That is a story that I just read, and a lot is going on in that cup, and we shall be giving you more details on the same as and when we receive them. Well, this has been NTV at One. My name is Gladys Gachanja. A lot more news coming your way in our subsequent bulletins. Stay with us.
This is NTV.